So what I'm going this one is as well, tying to this thing, to do like with a martial law style thing, was to say, you know, what followed on from that was, you know, like the tie to Britain and stuff, and like the signs of the Orwellian state being applied to Britain itself, tied to what would be a martial law style based Hitler deception technique, what he would use, tied to 1984 George Orwell, and what I was saying before, and what David Icke's stuff had noticed, was basically, you know, like an Orwellian type state is being applied to here, which is based to George Orwell's 1984, and the main side to the signs of that one is the thought police, what they're introduced and what they've got going on here. Now if you look on the wiki site or even the film, that film George Orwell 1984, it does have the thought police on it, and that's just one sign of you know, like the symptoms or signs of Orwellian type state being introduced slowly, tied to Hitler's techniques to take away people's rights little till they realise, like I said, 1984, what happens, what shows near, part of it is all of a sudden it's like a new Britain order, and basically it shows Orwell on the screen, and it's basically telling them how things are changing, and all of a sudden people are basically imprisoned in what they call Oceania. Like I said, it's like a martial law style application.
Biological and social stimulation of the family leads to private reflection outside party needs.
You're a thought criminal.
Unorthodox loyalties which can only lead to thought crime. There is truth, and there is untruth. Is the freedom to say 2 + 2 equals 4.
Clasp your hands behind your heads.
Surrounded.
Courage, strength, and youth are sacrificed. Who are
There are thought criminals who maintain resistance is not real. Believe me, Winston, it's very real.
A brotherhood from the age of the thought police.
30 to 40 group, take your places, please.
double plus good, this. Dinner. I didn't think there's a single piece of meat in this, dear.
You knew this would happen, Winston. The individual is only a cell, Winston.
But he left one final warning.
1984 is, I believe, a quite terrifying masterpiece. So terrifying, in fact, I don't think I should like to read another like it.
I'm not absolutely dissatisfied with it. I think it is a good idea, but the execution would have been better if I had not been under the influence of TB when I wrote it.
You once claimed that you have an ability to face unpleasant facts. Is that what you've demonstrated in 1984 by drawing an accurate portrait of the future?
I think that allowing for the book being, after all, a parody, something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
And what the Thought Police shows on the wiki documents on there is basically it's like Room 101, what he mentions on there. Basically the people or person they put under it are in there enough, you know, it's like mind control. They're under that, and they're tortured mentally, you know, if they basically speak or oppose you know, George Orwell's Orwellian State, and it shows on there. This is what I followed from there, which derives suspicion on me possibly being under it, and it ties to the experience I have. Said I've not been told this is like an Orwellian state, so I'd assume there's deception being used based on that one. But like I said, it's really odd stuff. And it is showing signs of an Orwellian state. I think Australia was another one, and America partially as well, just differently applicated. You know, Australia is still part of, you know, like British, you know, land. It's like another part of Britain. All I know is in Britain, it's showing signs here, like I said, Thought Police, that's George Orwell's 1984. And like I said, talking about that Big Brother programme, was, you know, we have on there, that's basically what it is. It shows on the wiki article something like the people of the country, they're told they're under surveillance, but you know, they have to love it and stuff. It's something like House of Love or something, Ministry of Love on there. But basically what it is, it's like treating people like their kids, sort of. It's really odd shit. It's like what I read, you know, it's really, really weird, you know, odd stuff. It's like the double speak as well, what I saw. You know, that's part of what they teach the people of this Oceania, which is basically a renamed Britain on that film. And it's called double speak, and it's really odd. I'll have to go across and find it. But basically what that ties to is what was being done to me via gang stalking. It's basically double speak technique. It's basically a word with one definition being redefined to 2 words. And it basically fucks with your mind. And it's like a mind fuck. And it can drive you insane. But that's tied to the GCHQ gang stalking programme with double speak, George Orwell 1984, Thought Police, which is here. That's from George Orwell's 1984. Like I said, Big Brother, Ministry of Love. Big Brother, we've got the Big Brother show on here. Now what I tied to this ripple effect video this dude made was basically he mentioned this show to say it's there, a lot in line with CCTV. Being over our country to make us get us used to and find it normal to be under constant surveillance, and it's like tied to psychological methods of how that would be applied.
To plunge the world into World War III and Armageddon. Why do you think they have made a Big Brother TV program? To program people's minds and get them used to the idea of living under constant surveillance, and to like it, and volunteer to take part in it. Why do you think they are called programs? It is because they are used for mind control, brainwashing, programming of the public's minds into obeying and sleepwalking whilst following their New World Order hidden agenda. The television is the greatest mind control and propaganda weapon ever invented. Do you think you should be paying for a TV license to fund all their programming of your mind and the lies and propaganda they are broadcasting to deceive, brainwash, control and enslave everyone, including you? Does the TV and watching it not already control most of your life and the way you think? Do you think you should be paying for all those CCTV cameras and their operatives to spy on you everywhere you go, so they can enslave you and fine you, thereby stealing your money for doing nothing wrong? Especially when they use your own money from those fines and taxes to pay for even more CCTV cameras, so you have even less privacy and freedom. And then they claim that the cameras do not work when there is a real crime being committed by the people who control the cameras.
The Big Brother show, it's like entertainment. People watch it. You know, they watch people basically living their lives in this house, and it's for entertainment. And psychologically what that does is it makes the British public get used to you know, the idea of living under constant surveillance. You know, when they walk around in the streets, they've got CCTV watching them. You know, they just feel this is normal. And psychologically, partially, subliminally, they've been taught, you know, basically this is normal via watching Big Brother. Like I said, this all ties, you know, Big Brother, thought police, double speak. These three signs already tied to what looks like an introduction of an Orwellian state. You know, slyly being done in Hitler's techniques of taking away people's rights via deception, little by little, until they don't realise the rights are gone and it's too late. And what we're tied to what happens on George Orwell's 1984 is what it looks like when he appears on people's TV screens one day and just says things are changing here, and all of a sudden, you know, it's near enough like a martial law for the whole of Great Britain. You know, to me, if you wanted to see that as a subtle, again, like a sign, a subliminal sign in a film, portrayed via deception to be, you know, like an entertaining film, but the method's actually being used as a future application towards Great Britain, it's very, very possible to be done. And like I said, I would keep an open mind on that one as well. Like I said, especially when we've got signs of, you know, these things from the film, you know, already happening across the country and being applied to it. Big Brother Channel 4, Big Brother Ministry of Love, George Orwell 1984's film. We've got the Thought Police is on his film. We've got like I said, we've got all these things what I mentioned, you know, being applied to here, and to me it ties to Channel 4. It ties to George Orwell's 1984, ties to Hitler's technique to take away people's rights of a country so he can overthrow it, and when he does, it's too late for him to realise. And like I said, via deception. Now, if this thought policing is being introduced, as what David Cameron mentioned, you know, it's just to be used by just towards people who are non-violent extremists, whatever, you know, but not the full story. Tied to Hitler's techniques in deception and not saying the real story, and you know, to slowly take away people's rights. You know, if say if the British public didn't realise that thought policing and what ties to what George Orwell's film shows is an overthrow of the British state. You know, if he or the people leading him, I believe, the elites, whoever it is, you know, basically if they wanted to basically take away their rights, the only way they could do it is by telling lies to the British public and say, oh, this thought policing is for you know, just people that you don't like. It's not for you, let's just say. You know, use a little bit of deception, and like I said, that would be a good technique to use, tied to what Hitler near enough did, you know, where he said the right-wing fascist Germans are his friend, but really he was going to shit on them as much as everyone else, the left wing of Germany. You know, it would be a very good technique, and he had to use that to lead them into their fate. Like I said, these things, these tie all to this film, and you know, they're more blatant than imagined. And like I said, it looks like these things are our rights being taken away little by little, to the point that we've realised it's too late. You know, and then we're being shut on as much as Germany would have been. You know, until they realised it would have been too late, World War II. And I would take that into consideration of being possible as well. Like I said, there's already things that point from that film to say that it's most likely going to happen. and what they'll be doing is taking away our rights in the tiniest chunks, as he shows on what he showed her, you know, in the 1,000 little pieces. So they're so blind to realise that in the end it's too late for them, and they're basically being shut on. Like I said, what shows on that George Orwell 1984, it looks weird. You know, it looks like if that was like a New World Order style, you know, like someone coming on your screen in front of the world and saying this is a New World Order, things are changing, and all of a sudden the world are under shackles and chains near enough. But this ties to just Britain itself. And as I said, there are signs of the Orwellian state. People under constant surveillance, i.e. CCTV all the time. That's basically what Oceania is about on George Orwell's 1984. The thought police / Room 101, where people are mentally tortured, you know, if they don't obey or conform to the new rules, and things like this. And like I said, the Big Brother / Ministry of Love mentioned, and then we've got Channel 4, which is making people psychologically, without realising, get used to you know, feeling like it's enjoyable to be under constant surveillance, i.e. to walk around not concerned why they're always under constant surveillance in the streets. And to me, as I said, it's very, very much possible tied to Hitler's techniques, and where it seems our rights are being taken away very small until we don't realise, and it's too late. You know, this is what Edward Snowden quoted himself, near enough of what he sees is happening, tied to what Hitler said, which is what we're not realising, we're giving our rights away little by little, and you know, we're not even realising, and we need to take great consideration into what we're giving away as our rights as the people. Otherwise it'll be too late for us, like as it would have been for people of Germany if Hitler had overthrown his own people. And I just want to make sure that people take notice. Like I said, now what ties to this EU referendum, and what that was all about signing away our rights, you know, like our rights to freedom, our rights for speech, privacy and stuff, tied to you know, to this new act, tied to this George Orwell 1984 Orwellian State theory. And like I said, basically, you know, that's basically, we would have given our way of rights, or you more so, is the ones who would have going to vote for it, without realising what you were giving away, or that you had, until it was too late. Because let's just say this, that EU referendum is or was voted out, basically, because you probably would have been fooled in the end. They could have turned around, or they could turn around and go, we'll do what we want now, you have no rights to vote. You know, they could tell you they want it, they'll tax you as much as they want, because basically what that no act shows is basically signing away the rights to the British people and giving it all to the people in power of the country. And you know, that's very very concerning to me, as to why what ties to George Orwell's 1984 ties to you know, Hitler's technique of where people give away their rights little by little, that they don't notice they are, and basically they can be shut on by the leader, which was Hitler's technique. And basically that would have been what's going on here. Now, first of all, we had the thought police, and where it was being deceived or seed, you know, to say people that most people in Britain won't like to be put under it. You know, they'll go, okay, that's okay then, you know, we'll give that right to be done, and without realising the full story. You know, we've got this EU referendum introduction. You know, they'll be like, you know, they're saying it's because of immigration or whatever, as to why what they can resolve, which they'll go on to. Then the British public be like, oh yeah, okay, then that's all right if it gets rid of them. And like I said, they give away their rights, and then basically that's what Hitler's technique would be. And what ties to the thought police, etc., says, you know, very much to say Orwellian State, 1984, George Orwell. And it's the absolutely weirdest film, just watching from the trailer to see, you know, it's very crazy, because you're seeing some weird stuff going on. It's like a martial law. And if you really want to live under what that film shows, there's a very big possibility. It's up to you compared to how you live now, where you have more rights in your democracy and stuff. So, you know, I always like to point those things out as well. There's, you know, a very big possibility of, you know, maybe being applied. And like I said, that film just shows a whole different change to this country. And you know, it's weird to imagine, but it's very possible. And that, like I said, it's just all odd. And like I said, I was going to follow on to something, but my mind went distracted. But like I said, these things are on on this film are really showing a reflection to our country, Britain. Like I said, whoever you are, even if you're immigrant or whatever you're classed as, like I said, right-wing assumptions aside, but like I said, the land you stand on. But like I said, all I know is in this one, people really need to think to themselves, because all I know in this one is what I was going to tie back to actually the blaming immigration. You know, where they were saying immigrants, you know, the fault for you know, this thing. If you do the EU referendum, we can stop them. And what I found contradictory with that is the fact that you know, the British government do have the power, and you know, to basically stop immigration if they wanted to. And I was always asking to myself, why are you blaming for you know, pointing immigrants as the problem, or whatever you're saying, you know, saying immigration is a problem, etc. And yet you have the right to basically stop immigration if you wanted to, and yet you're still not allowing immigration. And to me, that was a use of deception to fool the British public in general, or the right wing anyway, to try and make them believe, you know, that immigrants are the problem and we can't stop it. But really, behind closed doors, you knew that you just wanted it to actually see your referendum for another reason. And all that acts of the human rights is to basically, for the British public in general, whoever they are, left wing, right wing, whatever, to sign away their rights of freedom, privacy, etc. And that's what I never understood. You know, there's a bigger picture to what you're saying and what's going on behind, you know, the plan for the EU referendum in general. Like I said, you know, it's like, if I want to use analogy as an example, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's like security at a supermarket, you know, basically saying whatever, a manager security supermarket, you know, saying, you know, thieves, robbers are the problem, they keep coming out all the time, stealing, and you know, they're saying we'll have to do something, you know, like decrease the money of the employees to up the security, and at the same time they're still letting you know, thieves into the store in and out, even though they have the ability to watch them, have them under surveillance all the time, and stop them before they rob. Basically, it would be like that, you know, like that. Showing my mind. But like I said, what I'm trying to say is an example, analogy, is what that's like. It's like a manager and security or whatever, a manager of a superstore saying, look, you know, I'm decreasing your wages so I can up security to stop thieves. And basically still allowing the thieves to go in and out and steal, even though they have the security to watch over them, and then keep telling the blaming it on thieves and allowing thieves to steal, while they basically decrease wages of the employees. You know, it doesn't make sense in terms of the British government saying immigration is the fault, etc. If you vote out of a referendum, you know, will stop immigration, even though you have the power to stop immigration, is what I was trying to put across. It's as if you're still allowing it, and you're making up that it's immigration that's the problem, and you have another reason why you want the EU referendum. And that only points to what ties to this Orwellian state theory, that you want the British public to sign away their rights in general, where the larger majority of right wing is how you would win the votes from the democratic system. And when they do, you've basically fooled them, they've signed away their rights, and all of a sudden, you know, they can't do anything about it, because it's like signing a contract. You know, as soon as you sign a contract that what you know signs away your rights, you know, if you turn around and say, oh, wait a minute, I want to change my mind, you can't do. And it's like the British public signing a contract to sign away their rights, you know, to freedoms and rights, to freedoms of speech, etc. And as soon as they do, and this old act from 1600, ass backward act, is brought in, you know, it's too late for them if they say, wait a minute, we're not happy with this. We didn't know these things were going to be told to us, we're going to be dictated to, and you could turn around and go, too late for you. You know, we'll do what we want. And as I said, there is a real reason, and it's definitely not immigration. You're just using that as an excuse, and you know you all are as much as I do. And as I said, you know, there are ties of what you're doing. You know, what tied to George Orwell's 1984, which is an Orwellian state, the constant surveillance, CCTV around everywhere. You know, the thought police, which ties to his film and stuff. And to me, you know, it ties to the techniques Hitler was using, which are partially being used here, especially mostly America. I know the American people, and most likely, I wouldn't probably see it like the same George Orwell film, but it'll be near enough to what he showed as you know, a technique to use. And it basically would be like that if they signed away the EU referendum, and where you could just turn around like that film and they tell them that they're going to do what you want them to do, and they'll have no rights whatsoever, and you make the rules. It's just scrapping democracy, and where they have the rights to vote and stuff, and you get all the rights to you. And I disagree if that's the case with any country to have it done to them. Like I said, you know, to me, it's very, very bad. And like I said, I don't believe, as I said, more so that it is Cameron or as much as Obama stateside being told to do these things. As I said, most likely it is the elitist bankers, most likely Rothschilds and stuff, you know, are really pulling the strings. But if they are, most likely, you know, it's all down to, you know, the reason why they keep themselves in the shadows, based on what I was saying in Henry Ford's quote. If those people knew about the monumentary banking system, and who was really running their country and having their leaders on the strings, you know, there would be a revolution. People would protest, which is what I mean in the word revolution, by the way. Some people thought revolution was like rebelling against the government, you know, like going using violence. On that track I made, it's nothing to do with that. Revolution in my terms is protest peacefully, and you know, it's basically standing at your rights in a country where you're a democracy, where you can stand, you can march as people, and basically just show that you feel that you're being mistreated, and you have rights. You know, that's my term of revolution. And what I saw going on in Greece and Spain recently was the kind of form of, you know, revolutionary terms of what I was talking about. And those terms, by the way, not making people riot and stuff, because I always have to add that into, just in case people twist things around and make out as if I was trying to say, you know, do crazy things on the track I made. It's like what I explained, although it might have been blocked off my Facebook feed, you know, so people didn't see the reason, was, you know, this on that hook, the chorus, it says stick to your guns. And basically I wanted to clear that it wasn't to say people of Britain, you know, get whatever firearms. It's actually a word of morality. You defined, you know, in a metaphoric terms. You know, people sometimes say stick to your guns in terms of stick to your morals. You know, never back down. And that's what I meant by that, by the way. You know, I'm not the type of dude to be irresponsible and tell people, you know, to get weapons and do crazy things like that. Like I said, I'm more of a responsible person, and I don't see violence as resolving problems anyway. So, you know, I always clear my name on that one. Although, you know, some people, if they ever heard that track, would probably assume I was probably trying to say, do that. And like I said, sometimes a lot of people don't realise metaphoric speech for, you know, certain terms. So, you know, I'll clear my name on that one, just in case. This is why paranoia based. I can't trust anybody. And the fact that low-key, what he mentioned, where they tried to twist lyrics around on his song, which I most likely suspect was based on his court case of being classed as a terrorist. You know, the people who didn't like him, who tried to set him up, most likely used his lyrics and twisted around what he was saying to be something what they weren't, to make him look like a criminal. And because I most likely am being seeing the same, that the chorus in the eyes of those people, they'd be quick to say, oh, let's make out it was it's talking about get firearms and do crazy things. And so I'll clear my name on that. Like I said, the video explains what it's about. It's not showing people being violent, showing people peacefully protesting. And if that was ever put forward, you know, I'd use that video to show the concept, the metaphoric terms, and what the video shows is people peacefully protesting and not using violence. But like I said, it's a very dirty game, politics, and if you're ever seen as someone they don't like, they usually do those things to, you know, tarnish your name or make you look bad or twist around words and lyrics. So, you know, I'll just clear on that one, just going on to the revolution terms. But like I said, you know, to me there's something all odd about what's going on in this country and how Britain's rights have been taken away via deceptive terms, and where they turned out to be, you know, a bigger reason behind them, and people didn't realise they signed away their rights as much as America, etc. And to me, the real motives behind a lot of these things are tied to what I've been talking about. I said I'm not against my own government and never will be, like I said, but I feel upset if I have been shat on. It's just I'm not the type of dude to use bitterness and revenge and to spread rumours or about the people or whatever. You know, I speak out of honesty. I address as a grown man. I can show anger from that I've been treated, and that's all I want to put forward on there. Like I said, so just the thing that turns back to the other video where I said if people of those countries, America, Britain, that are leading them, actually do feel that they wouldn't like to have somebody telling them what to do when they're supposed to lead the country, what would tie back to authorities and stuff that have the well, you know, like I said, the power to do what they want to do in terms of investigating those people who are suspected to be running the world. And you know, as Putin wanted to have them arrested or whatever, jailed, you know, for war crimes, what they're suspected to be behind. And if you really want to run a country as a PM or a president, and you don't want someone telling you what to do, and you don't agree with what they're telling you what to do in terms of how those countries are being run, you have the help of those people, and those people have the skill to investigate them and stuff. And like I said, what ties back to David Icke is basically to say, you know, if they were arrested and jailed, you know, it would take them so damn long to basically try again for a new world order, you know, to try again or, you know, do what they wanted to do. But all I know is those people, what I would see if they are behind all of these things as the real terrorists, the ones that basically would have planned all these false flag ops and stuff, and they're the ones who are causing the evil across the world. But it all comes down to morality and whether you disagree with what they're doing or not. But as I said, to me, anybody who's evil that does that needs to be arrested and convicted and sent to trial for imprisonment, especially things that major, if they're the people behind, you know, a lot of suspected false flag operations, you know, a lot of deaths from them, 7/7, etc., 9/11. And like I said, the world would be a better place without any evil people, you know, actually being in control of it. But, you know, it's always in the hands of those people, if they decide, and if they actually know who those people are, and if they know that they are the people. As I said, they have the authority to do so. And I'll leave it there. Cheers.
Hopefully, among the security services, there must be at least some decent, honest people who know that the official story is a pack of lies and are troubled by it. Unfortunately, they are all keeping quiet about it. We need them to have the courage to come forward and say what they know and arrest their evil colleagues and bring them to justice if they don't want to be also condemned as accomplices of the government and media criminals who committed treason and mass murder that day and helped to cover it up, enabling the Orwellian Big Brother police state plans for Britain to pick up steam. And the real perpetrators, the New World Order...
like I said, what ties to secret hypnotism, Satanism and stuff, and gang stalking, is what ties to what I go on to Darren Brown. It's more of a conspiracy, but tied to the television being a brainwashing machine. Now this dude Darren Brown, if you ever watched his programs, Channel 4, you would have saw that he had something called How to Control a Nation, and he basically used hypnotism on the British nation. Another one I saw, what he did was he made unsuspecting volunteers go and steal from a shop without realising, you know, subconsciously they'd been hypnotised to do so. It's very weird, and I don't know how he did that, but this shows his depths of expertise in psychology. What it showed was these people, he basically secretly hypnotised them, and you know, using words and stuff. It's not like he did, you know, what you'd think of hypnotism is close your eyes or click the fingers and it makes you do that, or fall to sleep slowly, or swing something in front of your eyes. People always get those mixed up. Now hypnotism can be used in psychological terms without using that, and this is what Darren Brown showed on that program, which I tried to find. He basically used words, and certain words and a certain technique, and these people, what they showed, they went into these shops, they picked something up, walked out, you know, it's legitimate, but they were doing it as a test. But what he showed was you can do those things.
Under the guise of a motivational seminar in which I teach my skills to a group of middle management businessmen and women, can I get any of them to steal £100,000 in what they believe is a genuine armed robbery? That's the show. This is the heist. I have to get them to cross the line into deviant and criminal behaviour, but in a way which can be framed to sound fun and harmless. Purely because an authority figure has told them to, will they make the decision to walk into the shop, steal goods, and frame it as a positive experience for themselves? I'm watching the action through hidden cameras installed in the newsagents across the road. The shop owner is aware that we're filming, but the assistants know nothing.
I wasn't thinking it was going to be a real shop.
When I got in there, I realised that it wasn't as easy as I thought it'd be. All the staff were standing right by the sweets.
We were being asked to do something that was actually against the law.
They don't know that this is being filmed for the show, but they are aware that they may be caught on the shop security cameras and that what they're doing is illegal.
Hello. You all No.
Anything else? My initial reaction when I came back into the pub was actually euphoria.
It was like the woman had got 6 numbers on the lottery. She was so hyper and high about it and proud of herself.
I think that's something that I hope will actually stay with me, because I think I could probably do with it taking a few more risks in life.
10, 20, 5, 45, 65, 85, ton.
Yeah! I felt really good, actually. It's bad to say. I felt, and I know, obviously, stealing's wrong, and that's what I want to say on camera. Stealing is wrong. I have a young daughter, a teenage daughter, and there is no way I am going to show, even for fun, even for a laugh, that shoplifting should be done or condoned.
Darren explained that would be taking us back to our inner child, and by taking me back to my inner child, I had the opposite effect, and remember, the sort of, it put the fear of God in me, really, in terms of the repercussions, so there's no way I was going to steal anything from that shop. I didn't feel guilty, which normally I'd have thought I would have done, but no, not at all, which was not sure if that reflects anything on my character.
Did you see that? Just literally walked over, picked it up the shelf and walked out. It was the guy in the suit.
One of the things I remember that Darren said was, if you do something with enough confidence, it will work. Which clearly does for him, but it didn't for me.
That's just when you never have this. Well, you can't, no. So you're not in a position to give it away. Oh, do not leave his side, please. I don't believe this. Why would a guy come in and ask to have a packet of fucking orbit? Why would a guy steal a Twix bar? Why would a guy come in, look at sellotape, fucking Angel Delight, a newspaper, wine, and then just buy a paper? Yes? Pardon? Can we put those Jammy Dodgers back, please?
sorry, the ones that are just in there. Thanks very much. See you later. Sorry. I must have forgotten about those. Yeah, my ball isn't full, but... Pardon? My ball isn't full, but my ball isn't full, but These stores are probably 13 times. They have a shut door on yourself now. You see him doing? That's the fourth one tonight, that is. No. Yeah. They're all in suits as well. There's something going on. That's why I asked him. I said, who comes in? It's very proud of him. Ryan. Look, we just banned people in 60. I'm going to get really fucked up here. I felt it's a bit of a failure, actually, because I hadn't done it. So out of the 13 people that attended the seminar, I've decided to eliminate 4 of them. Paul, first of all, because he was a little too controlling. It also mentioned that he had a daughter and he didn't want his daughter seeing him do anything criminal on TV, which I thought was fair enough. Pam and Helen, I didn't feel were suitable to take through the heist experience, really, and Sula as well. Sula had admitted to filling out the wrong job on her application form. She isn't really an accountant, and her real job doesn't fall within the criteria of the show. So those are eliminated, but all the people that do get eliminated will take with them a very powerful motivational state, which they can tap into, as well as certain genuine skills which they've learned from me at the seminar. So those are gone, but there are 9 people left. I'm going to teach them some genuine skills that I use, peppered with some spurious pop psychology, and quite a lot of bullshit. Very green, isn't it? What is green? Oh my God, you can get to the bottom of the pool. I'm so going to get
this ties and refers back to gang stalking and secret hypnotism via wording and stuff, which I heard from gaslighting, which made me remember this Darren Brown show. And if you're being gang stalked, and these gang stalkers have been told to use certain words or use certain techniques, it can be done on you. And it's most likely what was done to these people who were stateside who did these shootings and stuff. And like you said, along with trigger words, double
This framework can be used by any system, even non-government system, to control group of people without doing anything illegal in the control framework. From this fact, things are very clear that whoever wants to gang stalk the they don't want to do anything illegal as a part of gang stalking. Gang stalking allows to inflict enormous pain to the without doing anything illegal, and gang stalking is planned in such a way the actions involved in the gang stalking are designed considering the loopholes in the law. Often the technology and high-tech machines are used to introduce and amplify the pain, negative emotions, anger, fear, aversion, feel helpless, etc. And the gang stalking is used to anchor the pain and negative emotions to the aspects of life, community, environment.
Oftentimes in ongoing harassment the most mundane things are mentioned, such as a phrase the target said earlier that morning, or mentioning an internet site that was visited, etc. This is meant to give the target the impression that everything they do is monitored. In most cases disinformation is also mentioned, but is only pieced together by the target after several run-ins with street theater stalkers. This disinfo can't be the most disturbing, because the target is left to wonder why so many people are referring to the same topics or exact phrases themes. After many run-ins the target can often discern who is a stalker by their demeanor, sometimes their gleefully malicious attitude alone before any new disinfo references are mentioned. Neuro-linguistic programming to instill negative emotions and associations.
Like I said, it's more conspiracy behind. But it's Darren Brown's show, How to Control a Nation. And if you remember watching that as I did, what he basically did is he told, he had the whole nation, or they tried to hype it up to watch. And there was a part where he basically hypnotised people. A lot of people were sceptical of it and they were like, that's bullshit. But what they don't realise more so is it was the wording again referring back to what he did to those people to steal, to hypnotise them themselves. And like I said, it makes me wonder why this programme, you know, Channel 4, they hyped up to get publicity, to get the nation to watch. And like I said, he basically hypnotises the nation. You know, it says how to control, for a reason, control a nation. And like I said, you don't know what he said and why they did it for. And they're tied to what I've been talking about, TV in itself and what's behind it. And you know, his expertise. You don't know what he had basically told people or put in their minds. All I remember knowing is when I was sitting there, I don't know who or what it was. Could have been my ex, I don't know. While we were watching it though, something told me not to watch. While he started doing this hypnotism, I put my head down, closed my eyes, and I didn't watch. Don't know if my ex did, but I didn't. And like I said, there's something about that. And like I said, you don't know what. It's not like I'm saying that he possibly could have said, you know, made people so they go and steal. But you know, whatever technique he used, he could have basically hypnotised every single viewer that Channel 4 got to do whatever the technique being used was. When it's corporate owned TV, like I said, when it's corporate owned TV and stuff, and those people who own those corporate owned channels are the elitists, what they say, you know, very rich people, and how it shows that they're very biased and stuff, and they lie to nations when things have been false flagged. Makes me very wary of you know, whatever this dude said and the techniques he used. And like I said, I don't remember that one, but it all ties to gang stalking and whatever they use as their techniques to secretly hypnotise someone in conversation, wherever the gang stalker's been used, using certain words. It's a very clever thing, and all you need to remember is, no, you don't need to have a thing swung in your face left and right, or your eyes closed to be told you go to sleep slowly and then you're hypnotised. It can be done psychologically via conversation. And Darren Brown's program, where he had people made people steal without doing that, proved that one. And like I said, something about that, how to control a nation, which also showed this one frame picture during that program, which was shown on the same one. It was just a picture. It wasn't too bad. You know, it wasn't like something telling people what to do. The one what they freeze framed though, it was looked like a torture scene. You know, like something satanic itself anyway. And as I said, I'll try and find that if I didn't put it up there. But all I know is I'd be wary if you watch that program of what you basically were secretly hypnotised, even if you're sceptical and you was like, oh, that's a load of bullshit. Because little will you realise, as much as he did to those people to make him steal, you most likely, if you watched and listened, had something subliminally implanted in your subconscious. Now, if this ties to what I theoretically put as most likely mind control put into television devices, which is shown from BBC stuff and stuff, it most likely would have worked better anyway, with extra low frequency being used of what he was doing. And like I said, TV is a very, very evil machine, and it's not how it was made to be. It's like people who are evil took a chance to use it for mass population control. And this ties back to the word government and control of the mind in Latin, what it derives as control of a population, basically. Control of the mind. Government, it governs a nation. And then when you think about government control of the mind, what I say is TV being mind control. You know, control of the mind, turn around mind and control, mind control. It's still the same thing, mind control, controlling the mind. And the only way that you could control a population and control of the mind would be using that propaganda the same as Hitler did. And then when you've got television, that's mostly like the tool they're using, tying to this Darren Brown, which specifically used the word control on how to control a nation, using hypnotism, which means that hypnotism is brainwashing, tying to TV brainwashing. And like I said, some people will be too damn ignorant and defend lies, or, you know, support evil because they're evil. But there are people who would show concern and think to themselves, you know, I don't like the thought of that or everything else I've been saying. And like I said, all I know is I've done better of not watching the TV for the last few years. The only things I did watch was Strike Back and stuff, Top Gear anyway, but just not watching TV in general. And I seem to be doing better than when I used to watch it. You know, I just want to make sure that this one's out there. And like I said, it's more theory based but tied with insight, with very more insight to you know, just the general stuff. It's like connecting dots to all these things. And like I said, it all ties back to evil and Satanism itself. And that's what people don't realise. A lot of these people do Satanism themselves, you know, satanic cults and stuff. And you never know who they are and who they could be. But that's just the ties to gang stalking and mind control, mind control, mind control. Control of the mind, Latin from the word government. Darren Brown, how to hypnotise / control a nation. And those things which is population control. And like I said, tying back to what I was saying in controlling a nation, and tied to what Hitler used via propaganda to control his was to deceive, to control a nation by deception, using those techniques in the last video I saw, in terms of if he was discovered to be shitting on his nation, they'd be very, very angry with him, and the only way that him as the one person against many could lead them into their own fate was doing that. As I said, you don't have much chance, do you, one man against the whole nation, if they turn around on you and they show they're pissed off with you. And like I said, I just want to put that one out there, and make sure that if that's ever seen or heard of, that people see my insight into that. It's very bad stuff, and a lot of things what I say, David Icke, partially what Alex Jones talks about, or anyone out there, they're usually ridiculed, and they're seen as nutters. But as I said, some people I'm hoping to wake up and to make them realise that the world isn't as soft or as sweet as it seems. It seems they're having a Hitler's technique used on them, and they make their lives are wretched, but via the use of propaganda they're made to see it as better than it is. Probably not like heaven, but more better than it they realise it is, when they're really being shat on and they're living the most wretched lives ever. Even if it's not third world country, if they're first world, they're still being shat on without realising behind their backs. And it all ties back to most likely to what they say are the elitists who are actually pulling the strings on all of those governments mainly. And I just want to leave that one out there, and make sure that people consider, taking that into mind as a possibility.
Now, for the film to be effective, you do need to be sat in a particular way, so please follow these instructions. Sit right back in your chair. Place your feet flat on the floor in front of you. Place your hands on your lap. Imagine a circle around your head with a radius of about a foot. This is your safety zone. Try and keep your head within that zone at all times. Your head must not touch that circle. And now remain in this position. Now, the film won't stick all of you, but it will stick those of you who are open to it, who allow it to work, those of you who have a well-balanced, bright, creative personality. And there'll probably come a point when you'll feel that you're either going to fight it or let it work. When that happens, just let yourself go with it. Just allow it to work. If you fight it, then it probably won't work, so it's kind of a waste of time even watching. Those of you with the best talent for responding to the film will find yourselves stuck, locked, glued, gelled, cemented, bonded, fused and welded into your seats, and the more you try in vain to unstick yourself harder and harder, the more you'll find yourself locking and sticking harder and harder into your seat. Think now which parts of your body are in contact with the seat. The tops of your legs, your back, perhaps your shoulders. Feel the weight of all of these. In a second, you will absorb the film. When you find yourself rigidly stuck, don't panic. Just allow yourself to enjoy it, to find it interesting, while you try in vain to unstick yourself as hard as you can. And you can imagine now what that would be like, trying to unstick yourself harder and harder. Just enjoy it. It's a very odd sensation. Now, others around you may stand if you're watching with other people, which we found somehow concentrates the energy on you and then sticks you even more. So, take a deep breath in. And out. Again, in and out. We're now ready to play the film to you at home and these people here. Let's play the film now. Now, as you sit there and as you find yourself sticking, remember to keep calm, try and keep your head within the zone, focus on the screen, let yourself be stuck. If you try to unstick yourself, you should find that the energy to do so somehow dissipates and all effort just washes away, leaving you motionless. So keep calm. Now, as you sit there and as you find yourself sticking, remember to keep calm, try and keep your head within the zone, focus on the screen, let yourself be stuck. If you try to unstick yourself, you should find that the energy to do so somehow dissipates and all effort just washes away, leaving you motionless. So keep calm, focus on the screen. And the more you try to unstick yourself harder and harder, the harder that you stick. And if you have been stuck to your seat by the subliminal film that we've just broadcast, we want to hear from you.
So what we're following from here with is first of all the depth into gang stalking and you know, hypnotism and stuff, and what ties to that, and you know, this gang stalking itself, and what was going on from here is what a lot of people don't realise is gang stalking, mind control, MK Ultra, it is connected to satanic cults, secret societies and stuff. People don't realise those things because you know, they see it as a technological or psychological form compared to what they see Satanism as. They usually see Satanism as sacrificing kids and shit at the rituals. But what I learned from the gang stalking and mind control itself is it's evil. It's more evil than you imagine. And like I said, well, it shows the results of over America and what they've done to people they chose as TIs. It shows a lot to how evil it is to drive them to those things. So I'll put across in this one. I know that satanic cults are partially behind what they use gang stalking more so, and where it derives from the Nazi regime Germany. Says a lot about it itself. What ties to satanic cults in this town, and what I was saying before, this Jesus Army that's here, which is also a nationwide thing, and what we're explaining that one. Now, if you think they're actually Christians, what you got to realise is Satanist, and what satanic cults do is they actually use God's name in you know, for blasphemous reasons, His name in vain. What they say, Lord Jesus, the Son of God. They deny God and they deny Jesus Christ Himself. Therefore, this what following from there, this Jesus Army, if they are a satanic cult, they won't care about using Jesus' name on their van or their vans or whatever their you know, their group. You know, they'd find it more enjoyable to use Jesus' name, you know, as their group. Like I said, what I follow on from there is a song I made, God versus the devil, or good, or something like that I made. And like I said, Satan's got an army, and now he wants to harm me. In this town there's only one religious group with the word army to it, and that's Jesus Army. And referring back to them being most likely satanic. They wouldn't care about using Jesus' name in vain. Like I said, also the red crosses you'll see them wear, if you see them around where you live, is you know, they're not Christian crosses. They're not even the shape. They are the shape of the Roman cross, but they're red, and they're jagged and stuff. And these things tie to basically they tie to the actual Umbrella Corp logo, the Maltese flag, which are found to be a secret society's badge as well, which use that Maltese cross and the red cross itself. There is a satanic cult I saw, and there's things they do which I saw and never realised is it says they deny God, they deny Jesus and stuff, and like I said, they most likely will use His name in vain, just to connect that one. Like I said, Satanists are the nicest of people, and if you're a Christian or a normal person, they're the last people you want to associate with. They're never to fear. They fear their own evil more than they fear the people they do it on. But what I followed on from there is they're called an army for a reason. You think of an army, a military army, and you'll see what ties to them. You can't tell who they are, Satanists as much as Christians, if they're not wearing those crosses. And like I said, when it comes down to an army, if you're living in a town, for all you know, there could be a big army of people who are Satanist in that town, as much as I suspect in this one. You know what I mean? An army, you know, a very big group of them, and you don't know who they are. An example was a day that I was having a bad day one time, not far from here, and a dude who was a skater standing there, and as I said, he looked like a normal dude, teenage dude and stuff, you know, the general dudes you see. But what I noticed on his arm was a satanic tattoo on his arm. That's just basically a thing to say as a Satanist. But what I'm trying to say is, if those people are walking around your town as Satan's army instead of Jesus, Satan's army, and you don't see any kind of signs to say they are, the crosses they wear or tattoos or stuff, you're not going to know if they are or not. You know, if they're normal people, if they're Christians, if they're Satanists and stuff. And this is what you got to realise. You know, all these ties to Satanism and stuff, and these kinds of people. As I said, I wouldn't be surprised if those ones doing the gang stalking here, who were paid to do it, you know, as satanic themselves. Because you've got to be very, very evil within to do those kinds of things, and acknowledge the results to the person you're doing it to. So, always be aware of those, and they're tying to secret societies, which people never realise. Now, you could live in a town like this, or a town with one of those Jesus army, and when it comes down to society, society can be classed as a town, and they're called secret societies for a reason, because as I refer back to satanic cults, which are usually secret societies, they keep themselves in the shadows or hidden, and they don't really make themselves, they don't expose themselves, and you never know if you live in a village or a town which is full of them. You know what I mean? Every single person there, or a very large majority. And if you do, always be aware of them. And if you notice anything evil being done to you, it's most likely to do with those kinds of people. It's not gang stalking or some other kind of form. It's mostly tied to Satanists and stuff. They hide, and they don't like to show themselves for a reason. Unlike, you know, Christians and stuff. Because the evil they do, they fear the consequence of their own actions.